Hello Capricorn, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, it does not cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here's the Chariot. Well, go figure. We did a bonus reading for you yesterday, and there was a big emphasis on this kind of alter ego energy, this unconscious energy. This is the shadow side of yourself, because this is the Chariot, this is a Cancer sign card, and Cancer is your opposite sign. So this is really a message, an extension of yesterday's reading, really, that's talking about integrating these kind of hidden, shadow, unknown aspects of ourselves. Be guided by those seemingly random impulses, those slips of the tongue, those things that you seem to be drawn to just out of nowhere, right? Those unconscious aspects of ourselves, especially our dreams, especially thoughts, memories that seem to come from elsewhere. We're going to put this into some context because I feel like this is us embracing that kind of, embracing that other side of ourselves. And maybe this card really represents those resources that we need right now in order to succeed at whatever you're doing right now, right? Whatever you're involved with. Let's put some context around this Chariot, yeah. We've got the Hierophant, the idea of learning. The idea of seeing our unconscious self as a bit of a mentor, a bit of a guide, okay? And so this is learning from our own unconscious self and trying to tap into those hidden resources within us. Here we've got that Seven of Pentacles, a Princess of Swords, yeah, that makes sense. A Ten of Swords, and a Prince of Wands. Good fire energy here. We've got a lot of earth, we've got a lot of air, we've got the fire. We've got that Chariot card, which is some water energy. So it's pretty balanced on the path of the dove here. I feel like there is some resistance. The conscious mind wants to believe that it reigns supreme. The ego wants to feel like it is in charge. Doesn't have to listen to anybody else. But this is kind of like saying, no, listen to your gut, listen to your instinct, listen to that still silent voice within you. Because it is the voice of the higher self, the Hierophant, right? And I think you're going to be led out of a kind of precarious situation here between the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. I feel like you're in a situation that does need to change right now. And look, Six of Cups. Yeah, and see, a Nine of Swords really tells me, because this is the card of the environment, it tells me that you're in a situation now, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You're trying to walk this tightrope walk and not land into either one of these things. And I think it's a rather difficult situation. You're kind of trying to tiptoe through a gauntlet here, okay? And there's the Eon Judgment card, rebirth, reawakening, the doorway to your future, the doorway of change. This is the card that says we're shutting the door on the past and we're walking into a new universe, a new era. And there's the sun. This very beautiful, very nice. I don't know what this situation is, but I feel as if it's either a work situation or something going on at home, right? And it kind of feels more like it doesn't feel like home to me. It feels like It feels like a work environment, but it still could be at your house. You know what I mean? That feeling that what should be our home is not our home, doesn't feel like our home, right? It's kind of being uncomfortable even in that place that should be your sanctuary. I feel a lot of uneasiness in where you physically dwell right now. Okay, this could be talking about some health-related stuff. It could be talking about dynamics between family members. It could be a work thing too. It's just wherever we are, we don't feel comfortable right now. And so we're trying to be guided through this to really achieve this Eon and this Sun card here. This is the freedom. This is the creativity. This is your light really, really shining. And I think with the Seven of Pentacles down here, maybe lately you've been feeling like a lot of your efforts haven't been really amounting to much. That you've been putting in work, but it just seems that you're just kind of stuck, like the things just not connecting. We're not getting the results that we should be with our efforts. Yeah. And that's because whatever this is really does need your infinite spiritual light. The sun needs to shine on this kind of shadowed crop here to allow it to grow and bloom and become abundant. Yeah. So the sun, I think we had the sun in your reading yesterday too. It's about, the sun is the integration of all aspects of ourselves. The sun leaves nothing hidden, nothing, there are no shadows when the sun is shining fully, let's say at high noon, right? There are no shadows. So it's the idea that everything is revealed to you. There's no part of you that is hidden any longer because you have this full connection with who you are. And again, those inner resources, those unknown parts of yourself. Yeah. Well, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, and then we'll go around the room here and we'll take a look at each of these energies individually and how they relate to each other. The mystery card is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, and we'll just set it over here. We're going to put Jimbo, aka the Lizard King, right there on top of that. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us our confirmation. Now, if at any point during this tarot card reading you feel like you know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments. Yeah. Let's do it together. Let's make it an interactive exercise of intuition. Okay, let's take a look again. Two majors over here. Very interesting. There is a lesson we have to learn. There is guidance that we are being offered that we need to follow to continue to make progress, and we need to make this, it's like the Hierophant will lead us right to the door. Will lead us right to water, but won't make us drink, right? Will lead us right to the door of this, but it's up to us to walk through. So if we want to change our circumstances, because these cards, these three, these are the circumstances that are kind of triangulating your position, and I think we feel an uneasiness, and maybe that is an understatement. Yeah. It's up to you if you're going to allow this change to take place, if we're going to walk through that doorway. Okay, so we've got our majors. We've got our fire. Don't really have a lot of water here, do we? Just that, really just the Chariot. We have air. Oh, well, we got the Six of Cups. That's our water, yeah. I don't know how I could have missed that. And the Six of Cups really is the kind of desired state. This is the general energy that we really want, and this is what we're going to have when we get through this kind of difficulty. When we learn how to follow this kind of inner spiritual guide. And it could literally be a spirit guide, an ancestor, a guardian angel. It could be the higher self. You know, it could be your unconscious self, could be your conscience, whatever you believe in, whatever name or label you put on this energy. It is not the ego. Okay. And it leads us to this state of perfect harmony and tranquility like a Six of Cups. Yeah. So we've got some water. We have a bit of air here. We've got a bit of air. And then we've got our earth energy. And right now the earth energy just seems like it's not flowering the way it should. You know, something in your situation is not right. The soil is not right for what you're trying to build right now. And we have all this air energy that is kind of like us trying to figure out, intellectually, figure out ego, maybe trying to figure out how to get either this soil fixed or how to get to a different place that is more conducive to what we're trying to do. I feel like you're not in a very supportive place right now. It could be coworkers, family, friends, whatever it is. I feel like there's not a lot of support, and you've got to initiate a change here if you want to reach what we're saying up here is really a new life, a new era, a new level of confidence and power. My shout out to Pantera. Or this kind of, this freedom, right? This Sun card, this absolute knowledge of self, knowledge of your path, and the letting our light shine, right? There's nothing is flowering here because you're not in your solar energy. You're not shining your light all the way. Because I think there are other circumstances involved here that are kind of dimming your light a little bit. Right? I just feel like the environment isn't so conducive to the success that you're after. And the Princess of Swords in the background position, I feel like this is, in some ways, this is the ego just trying to get by as well as possible. We've been trying to like, we're just almost been in survival mode. Right? We're kind of on our back foot. We're in a defensive posture. We're just trying to get by, like one day at a time. And it's like every day we make it through is a win, you know. But this is no way to be permanently in this defensive position, feeling like, you know, we've got to really fight just to get some basic stuff done. Yeah. And again, this could be work. It could be your personal life. It could be something going on with the family. I feel like you're in a place right now where it almost feels like you're the odd one out, almost like you're the enemy of everybody else. And I don't know why it feels that way. I don't know what exactly is going on, but that's how we feel. And this is kind of like the ego is trying to just do the best it can given the circumstances. Yeah. At the same time, I feel like this is also the ego trying to defend itself and saying that, oh, no, everything's fine. I don't need any help. I can do it. It's kind of us making things seem a lot better than they are. The ego, right? Trying to make things seem like, oh, no, everything's fine, nothing to see here. When really it's a bit of a, it's a situation. It's an energy that can't sustain itself, okay? These are not good cards, especially all together. I kind of like the Ten of Swords. And to me, the Ten of Swords is, at least we can see the bars of the cage now. This is like that bird cage we find ourselves in. This is us realizing that, okay, there is at least an outer wall. And if I can just smash through that, I'll be free. Okay? So the Ten of Swords is really a good card because it's saying that, okay, we're aware of the bars now. If this card wasn't here, we wouldn't really see. We would be trying to push our way forward in a way that it's basically we're just kind of going around in a circle, around the perimeter of the bird cage. You know, I'm thinking of one of those round cages with a little Tweety bird inside. You can tell I have a bias against keeping birds as pets, right? This is the bar. This is the situation that's preventing you from spreading your wings and really flying. Okay, but at least now we recognize what this is. We recognize at least, the very least, that something needs to change. Okay, something needs to change because what we've been focused on, our head's been down in our work. We've been just staring down at the page here. And seeing that our equations aren't working out. this thing that we've been trying to build, it's just not growing. It's just not thriving, and we don't really know why. Well, now maybe we know why, because we're in a situation that is very controlled or very limited, either creatively or energetically. And now we need to invoke this major arcana energy. So with the Chariot card, I feel like this is your desire, your deep spiritual desire or need, even a spiritual need, to have something that feels like home. And what I mean by that is the chariot to me is us. Maybe we're going around in a circle or a square. We're patrolling the perimeter of something, because I see the Chariot card, I see that there is a boundary to something, right? But this is the boundary within which you have the right soil to grow what you need. Okay? So to me, it's kind of like we're always going to be enclosed somewhere, right? In our physical earthly life, there are boundaries to things. There is, my house and then my neighbor's house. And so this is the situation within which I can operate. Okay? So it's kind of like we're picking up our fence and we're moving it somewhere that's a lot better for us. Yeah, we're putting it over some really fertile ground in order to do the work that we need to do. And this really could be literally picking up and moving. Moving our space. Yeah. And space is nothing else but the borders around it. Right? In order to call it a space, it has to have some sort of edge to it. Yeah. For instance, when we build a home, when we have a house, when we think of a box, a storage unit or something, the only thing that makes it what it is are the walls. The house, the walls of the house delineate the space within. Okay? And so the space within is what is really valuable. But we need the borders, we need the walls in order to enclose that space. Well, now it's really, with the Chariot card, it's a matter of finding the right space for us and putting our walls around it and saying, this is where I'm operating. Okay? So it really is kind of this card of finding the right home for us. Spiritually, creatively, maybe even literally. And to me, the home is that place where we feel that we can fully unleash our creative energy. We can be that full sun energy. We can let our light shine, and we can grow and flower both within and in terms of what we are producing outside, our life, our success, whatever it is you're building. What are you working on? What are you building? I don't know. The Hierophant now is the spiritual guide. And this is, I think in some ways this might even be you coming in contact with a mentor or a teacher of some kind. Yeah. Very often this card is the card that says, when the student is ready, the master will appear, the teacher will appear. Yeah. And I feel like once we recognize the rest of these energies, this mentor-type energy, this Hierophant, will appear. And it may be literally. It may be the opportunity presents itself for you to do the rest of this work and make these big changes in your life through the guidance of, well, it could be a lot of people, it could be a lot of information. I think it's also the Hierophant within us, which does come from that kind of hidden part of ourselves. And there's a major distinction between the ego, given the opinions, and then something else, something deeper, the real divinity communicating. Okay. So these two cards together, too, are talking about those hidden resources, the strength that you didn't know you had, the resources that you didn't know you had. And a big thing with this, too, is not waiting for the resources you think you need. Doing the best you can with what you have right now. Your current resources are enough. If you don't have enough externally, then you make up the difference from within. Yeah, with strength, determination, concentration, focus. Yeah. And that's exactly what we see with the Prince of Wands in the future position. This is fixed fire energy. This is the decision that has been made, and we are committed to it, and we are not deviating from this fire energy. This is a rocket ship that is has activated its boosters or whatever, and it's firing those engines at a fixed rate for a fixed period of time. And this is saying, well, I've got enough fuel to get so far, and I'm going to keep at a steady pace for as long as I can until my resources run out. So we travel as far as we can. This is almost somebody that just says, well, I got half a tank of gas. Let's just see how far we can go. Well, you got to keep the windows rolled up. You got to turn the AC off. You got to be real light on the gas, right? And you got to coast as much as you can. I think it's called hypermiling, right? Where you try to squeeze the most mileage out of your tank of gas as you can. And I think that's really what we're trying to do here. Trying to make the best use of the resources that we do have, okay? And that's going to take us, I think, over to the path of the serpent. And as we go over here, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it really does help out the channel, and I really do appreciate that. Okay. So the Six of Cups is a couple of things. First, it is the tranquility with which we kind of make this controlled burn out of this rather negative situation. When we realize what's going on here, then we really try to get through this. Okay. Now, I do think there are other people in your life that are affecting this lack of progress right now. Okay, these two cards together, nothing good's going to grow here. This is, for instance, this is like that experiment they did where people were just being really mean to their plants, and the plants didn't really grow. Because this is the Nine of Swords. This is really mean. This is cruelty. This is a situation that is, it's not very good for our confidence or for our self-esteem. This is an environment that really makes us want to hide our light away. And when we hide our light away, the rest of the world becomes dark. We become dark. Our results become dark. Right? Nothing grows. Or doesn't grow well. Anyway. So the Six of Cups is the kind of the joy that we feel with the wind in our hair as we are rocketing through to this big transition, right? To this fiery doorway. This is the tranquility we feel when we know that we're putting some distance between ourself and the storm, and that we're getting away from this. It's when you look in the rear view mirror and you see that this cage, these bars are getting smaller and smaller because they're getting further and further away. And so you look at the Six, and it's happiness, it's tranquility, it's pleasure, it's love, it's joy. Right? It's kind of this surge of euphoria, but the waters are still kind of choppy, right? Because for one thing, we realize that this is a temporary feeling of euphoria that's not going to last, that we might encounter more storms. This is a beautiful, delicious moment while we have it. Let's savor it, okay? Because the real beauty, the real euphoria comes when we actually get to our destination, get to where we're going. We have to go through this fiery doorway. Now, of course, we want to avoid this. And I just feel like there's a lot of, wherever you are, there's a lot of like bad politics going on, like if it's a work thing or a family thing, there's just people are arguing over ideology, yeah? And I feel like you don't want any part of that, yeah? I actually feel like you do something with plant medicine, Yeah, that plant medicine is really a good, kind of keeps you grounded. Yeah. Maybe right now it's time to get ungrounded. Yeah. It's time to light our rocket boosters and get away from this situation and make these positive changes. Yeah, maybe. When we get to the eon, judgment, rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire, this is a trial by fire. This is saying that to make this transition into your best life, into your freedom, into this future that is bright and promising and successful, look at that. It's not going to be easy because you're going to have to close the door on some things. This is a fiery doorway, by the way. So when you go through it, it's going to singe off of you everything that's not necessary, everything that's not you. So these crutches that we have, these defense mechanisms, these habits and routines, the way that we've shielded ourselves from things, all of that's going to come down, and it's only our essential self that's going to go through that doorway. We're going to be stripped of everything that we may have acquired when we were over here. All of this armor that the charioteer has is going to be stripped away. Okay, this is how you survived in this situation, and all of this, we have to kind of leave it behind. We don't need this where we're going, you know? We realize that we realize what's important to us, what's essential to us. We realize more about who we are and how strong we are and what resources we have. And we have a certainty about what we want in life. And because I feel like these two charioteers here with the Prince of Wands and the Chariot card, these two are really the same. But the Prince of Wands really is the Chariot, but stripped of all the armor. It's just pure spirit. All the armor and stuff, we left all the junk behind, and now we're just a pure spirit going through this doorway. And we are like a candle flame that's just entering the sun, right? And we're uniting with this solar energy, solar perspective, freedom, health, wealth, abundance, love, and light. This is, and I feel like this was the same as yesterday's reading. This is really good. I want to look at the mystery card. Let's see what that is. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I feel like you smoke, or you used to smoke. And I wonder if the smoking is, or maybe vaping, I don't know what people do nowadays. But Spirit's telling me something about smoking, and that it's like a nervous habit. Yeah. Rather than something that is a part of you, like something that you do, it's kind of just like a nervous thing. That maybe if that stimulus wasn't there, you would have no desire to smoke. Right? Anyway, with the mystery card, I want to see some good earth energy. I want to see an Empress, or I want to see a 9, a 10 of Pentacles. Yeah. Let's see this dark landscape now becoming bright. Let's see it flowering and flourishing, thriving. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Oh, Page of Wands. Page of Wands is interesting. This is all about that impulse power in a way. This is, I think, this is the counteraction to all of this air energy. Now, when we see this air energy, especially this one over here, this Princess of Swords, we want the Princess of Wands, or the Page of Wands, which is the same as the Princess in the Thoth deck. So, similar level in the hierarchy. This is our impulsivity. This is our ability to have the impulse, to have the will, have the thought, have the idea, and act on it right away. No delays, no hesitation, no buffers, no filters. Because what we want to do is sneak past this one. Because this is the one that says, oh no, I've got it, nothing to see here, everything's fine, I can handle it. And then we end up staying in our birdcage. We end up staying here. Yeah. And instead, we feel the impulse. This is like if I were to ask you, well, maybe we should do that real quick. Maybe we should spin the coin. I was going to say, if we ask you, Do you want to stay or do you want to go? I don't want you to think about it. I just want you to answer. Just blurt it out. The longer it takes you, the more I know that it is your ego or your intellect or your rational mind trying to figure out what to say. Okay? We want it to be instantaneous. Fire to earth. What is the impulse telling you? Yeah. So I think that's a very necessary card. Let's spin our yes/no coin. Whatever your question is, whatever this situation is, formulate it to yourself in a yes or no fashion, and we will spin our yes or no coin. Here we go. And the answer is yes. And it landed on the Eon Judgment Rebirth Reawakening card. So whatever your question was, this was your answer. Now we're going to move into the extended reading. If you want to stick around for that, there is a link at the end of the video, a link down in the video description, and there might even be one up here somewhere. All right. New readings for Capricorn every Thursday and Sunday, 6 a.m. Chicago time, but I'm here every day. You can come back and see me tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. And well, leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.